What's up, guys? George back again to do another DVD and Blu-ray update. This one is for September 18th, 2018. Started the Halloween season off a little early this year. Picked up quite a few things over the last couple months. Mostly new stuff, a couple of used things, but also saw the 2 or 3 different trailers they have for the new Halloween film. That looks amazing. Somebody sent me the actual script in the mail, email I should say. So I'll be doing a review of that at some point, probably after the film comes out, because I'm not sure if this is the actual shooting script or not, but it is written by Danny McBride and I think Adam Green, is that his name? So yeah, we'll see, but I'm about halfway through it. I'll probably finish it off today or tonight. But I was at Walmart over the couple weeks ago now. If you don't know, every Tuesday they release a slew of independent film on DVD, usually for $9.99. A lot of horror films, so I always go over there the first Tuesday of every month to check out what they have. So I have a couple of those in here. But while I was at Walmart, I picked up the reissue of Pet Sematary on Blu-ray. It was in the $4.99 bin. I decided to pick it up for $5 because I wasn't sure if I had this on Blu-ray to begin with. Obviously, if I did, it's a different cover, but classic film, always liked this. Enjoyed watching it again. I don't know, I always really liked this film a lot. But while I was there, they had the Pet Sematary 2 for $3.99. And I believe it's only available on DVD, which is unfortunate, but it still looked great. Because it's the widescreen version, but it stars Edward Furlong. Anthony Edwards is in this. He plays the town doctor, I think. But I always really liked this film as well. I kind of hope they do like like Scream Factory or somebody does like a definitive edition with a bunch of bonus stuff, because there's no bonus material on this one. But I always liked this film. It was a fun film. And sticking with the Pet Sematary theme, I finally picked up the Unearthed and Untold Path to Pet Sematary documentary on Synapse Films. I think this was originally released in 2015, but it's finally got a Blu-ray release in 2018. I did find this a little long-winded, a little slow-moving in parts, but it was interesting to see all the pictures and locations and stuff like that. Some really cool pictures of Fred Gwynn, all made up and bloody, but pretty good. It's a decent documentary. It's not perfect, and like I said, it's a little slow moving in some areas, and then like with Synapse, you get the reversible cover art. Ton of bonus features on here, like deleted scenes from the documentary, a podcast, edited and alternate scenes, cutting room floor scenes, featurettes, location, photo compilation, art concept, all kinds of shit. So it's definitely worth checking out because it's cheap. For the price, it's worth checking out. But it's almost 2 hours long. I think if they would have cut it down to about 85-90 minutes, it would have flowed a little better. But next up, I finally picked up Light of the Living Dead, or Return of the Living Dead Part 2 on Scream Factory. I was waiting for the price to drop on this because I think Amazon had it for like $34.95. I'm not fucking paying that much for Blu-rays anymore. I mean, I haven't for a long time. Usually after a week or so, the Scream Factory stuff drops to under, I think it's like $22 or $23, somewhere around there. Even that's kind of high for some of the shit, but so I waited. You know, I waited for this to drop. It finally dropped for one day, $24, and now it's back up to, I think, either $34.95 or $29.99. But always liked this film. I was curious to see some of the audio or the special features on it. Not a whole ton of special features. I mean, there is some cool stuff on here, like They Won't Stay Dead, little mini documentary type thing, complete history of the Return of the Living Dead, audio commentary. Gary Smart, he was the co-writer of that, or co-author of that, complete history. Audio commentary with Susan Snyder. Has the 2K scan. Also has the original theatrical soundtrack, which originally, when it came out on VHS, I think still had the original soundtrack, but then when they wanted to release it on DVD a few years later, they had some copyright issues, so they changed the soundtrack. But I think you can listen to both, either one on this one. Overall, it looks pretty good. The movie doesn't hold up quite as well as it used to. There's a few flaws in it, a few plot holes in it, but it's a zombie film. So, but Tom Matthews and James Caan, they reprised their role. Not the same characters, but they act the same as the first movie, as Return of the Living Dead, which was always kind of weird to me, but it's still fun to see them two together again in this. And obviously you get the cameo from what's his name, Forrest Ackerman in this. He's one of the zombies in it that I always thought that was funny, but it's definitely worth, I don't know if it's worth full price, but like you said, if you get the early pressings of it, you get the slip case. I know that's a big deal for some reason to people, but then obviously you get like every other Scream Factory, you get the original artwork, alternate artwork. But I really like the new artwork they sanctioned for it. I thought it was pretty good. But if you're a fan of the film, it's definitely worth picking up. Pretty cool. Next up, one, I think it's a couple years old now. And I always had it in my wish list on Amazon or want list, and that's Southbound. It finally dropped to like $6.99 or something, but it's an anthology film from the filmmakers that brought VHS. I was always a big fan of the VHS movie. VHS 2 was just okay, but I always liked the first one. This was released by The Orchard and Sony. This is like another anthology type thing. All the stories intertwine. I think there's 5 stories. There's 4 or 5 stories in it. They all intertwine with each other. Kind of give it one long movie. But I thought this was pretty good. There was one story in here that was just okay, but the other 3 I thought were decent, and it all leads back to pretty much the beginning of the film. But I thought it was a decent anthology type thing, kind of some eerie stuff in there. I get one with like an alien thing chasing these 2 guys, then one with like a cult family thing, one with an empty hospital. I forget the one I didn't like. I don't remember what that one was about, but it was pretty good. Definitely worth checking out. If you've never seen this one, definitely check that one out. Next up, this one I picked up from IFC Midnight at, I think, Walmart, because it was the only place that had it for $12.99. Everywhere else was $19.99 or $22.99, and that's Ghost Stories. This one has a very old school UK horror, like, I don't want to say a Hammer film, but kind of kind of. Basically, it's kind of another anthology film that all leads together to the plot at the end. I thought this was really good. I thought this was really well done. Um, and again, with like IFC, because this is IFC Screen Factory, you get the alternate artwork. But I thought this was really, really well done. It follows this reporter. He's trying to figure out he was exposing like phony psychics and shit like that. This reporter, he was more of like a paranormal debunker. You know, he didn't believe any of this stuff. And his beliefs are tested big time throughout this entire film. He goes to interview different people. They tell him their story of what happened to them. And I just thought this was really well done. It all leads up to the end, which the end got a little crazy, a little nutty. Not hard to follow or anything, but like kind of like, what the hell is happening? But I thought this was really well done. It's definitely worth. I can't suggest this one more. I thought this was really good. If you like old school horror, I think you'll dig this one a lot. Next one up is Found Footage 3D. This again was a cheaper at Walmart than it was at anywhere else. Or no, maybe I forget. Anyway, another found footage film. This one is about a small independent movie filmmaker. He's making a found footage film in 3D. The first one ever, according to him. And they go to a cabin. I guess, was it a cabin? Yeah, it was a cabin. He was filming a movie called Spectre of Death. The filmmaker and the writer of the Spectre of Death, his character in here was such an asshole. It made you hate him. You couldn't wait for the guy to die, really. And I guess he did what he was supposed to do because he was a jerk off. But I didn't watch it in 3D, and it comes with 3D glasses too. The old school 3D glasses. I don't watch 3D movies. They get on my nerves, but I watched the regular 2D version. But I thought it was decent. It was an okay film. It wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. It was released by Shudder, which I believe is a streaming service for horror. But it's got a bunch of outtakes and deleted scenes, and some of the kills were cool. The idea of it was kind of cool, making a horror film, a found footage film in 3D with, in a haunted cabin. But it was okay. It's definitely worth checking out once. Like I said, it's not perfect. The guy that plays the filmmaker in it gets on my nerves, but other than that, it's definitely something that I would watch again at some point. I would suggest that one. Next up is Dead Shack. And this was another one. The only place that was cheap was Walmart. This has Lauren Holly in it, which I always thought she was cute. Follows Dead Shack's about a family goes to up the mountains to their vacation home. I think it's their vacation home where they rented it or something. And the two kids go walking through the woods, and they come upon this other house. And in the other house, there's zombies. A couple zombies in there, and they find out throughout the whole story why they're in there, and what they're doing there, and it was kind of an interesting take on the zombie thing. It was definitely worth. It's definitely worth a watch. I thought Lauren Holly was really good in it. I thought the kids were good in it. Has some great humor as well. It's kind of like a dark humor zombie film, but I really I enjoyed this one. I thought it was really good. Now there's two different versions of this film, and if I would have known that, I would have bought the second one. But on Amazon, there's just a Blu-ray that actually costs more than the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. But the Walmart only had the Blu-ray for $12.99 or something. But I think the Blu-ray DVD combo pack's $9.99 on Amazon. That might be $12 now, but I would definitely check it out. I thought it was decent. I thought the zombies were cool looking. There's a couple of kid zombies in it. A couple of the kills were really good. The humor was really good. It was shot really well. I thought this was pretty fun film. Definitely something I would watch again with the kids or whoever. But next up, there was a theatrical release last year called Truth or Dare that I didn't care for. Then I saw this one. This was one of the ones that came out this month, September, the first Tuesday at Walmart. And this one's called Truth or Dare as well. This follows a bunch of kids to a haunted rental for a weekend. It's I think it was his uncle's house, and it's in the regular neighborhood, but one dude's uncle's house, I think it was. But anyway, him and his buddies and their girlfriends go to this house to hang out for the night, party for the night. And they decide to play a game of truth or dare, and everything pretty much goes wrong from there. The spirits take over the house, take over the game. There's like 3 different rounds of the game, and you have to do what they say, or whatever the spirit writes down in a piece of paper. The dare. If you don't do it, it'll happen to you. I actually like this better than the theatrical one. I thought this was decent. Heather Langenkamp makes an appearance in this film from the original Nightmare on Elm Street. There's this Brittany Sarpy's in this, who's absolutely beautiful. I thought she was a really good looking woman, and she was really good in this as well. But I thought the acting was decent in this film. It's on Sintel Films. But like I said, I like this better than the theatrical Truth or Dare. I didn't care for that one, but this one was really good. I think this was originally out and filmed in 2017 or 2016, but finally got released. And like I said, it's one of those first Tuesday $9.99 independent horror films at Walmart, which, like I said, if you didn't know that or haven't checked it out and you're into horror films, and just they usually release, like, I don't know, it's like anywhere in between 4 and 8 every month. So I would imagine the October one's going to be loaded with all horror, because I know some of the other months it's horror and action films. So, but I thought this was good. It's definitely worth checking out. Another one that was released the same day at Walmart was this one, Minutes to Midnight, from Uncorked. Didn't care for this one. It was just okay. Stars William Baldwin, Richard Greco, Dominique Swain. It was just okay. I called the ending halfway through the film. The killer in it, the main killer in it, this guy, he has a cool look, kind of like a Jason type thing, with a chainsaw. It's a slasher film, but it was just okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. Not something that I would probably watch again, unfortunately, but it was interesting. It almost seemed like a made for TV thing. Some of the kills were just okay. It was all practical effects, which was good, but they weren't done perfectly. I won't say they were amateurish, but kind of. Um, William Baldwin was just he was okay. Richard Greco, or from what was it 21 Jump Street or whatever he was on. He looks like an old Paul Stanley in this. He's just I don't know, something's going on with that dude, but not a great film. Next up, I was looking forward to this one uh, on Wild Eye. It's called Party Night. Next up, Marrowbone. This one was interesting. I really liked this one a lot. I thought this was cool. It's kind of, I don't like giving away anything, but it was a good horror film. Had some interesting gimmicks in it. It was about a family of, I think they were from the UK, living here in the States in the early 1900s, I guess. Something like that. It seemed early, the movie, but the main character, who I think was in Stranger Things, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that's who I kind of reminded me of. Anyway, him and his brothers and two sisters live in this house. Their mother passes away. They take over the house pretty much, but have trouble paying, I guess rent or their mortgage or whatever. They start realizing the house is haunted. And it ends with a nice twist at the end. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I thought this was really well done. Cinematography on it was fantastic, I thought. This is on Magnolia Films. There's deleted and extended scenes, behind the scenes, visual effects reel. I thought this was a really, really good haunted house movie. It's not that's scary. It's more of a creepy kind of thing. It's not like jump scare heavy or anything like that. It's just a creepy haunted house film. But I thought it was done very well. Like I said, the cinematography on it was fantastic. Definitely something I would watch again a few times. But yeah, I would definitely suggest this one. If you see it, if you like haunted house films, if you see that one, definitely check it out. If you see it out in the wild, I think Best Buy has that for $12.99. Next up, another Blu-ray, which I didn't look again, but it's another burned on demand disc from Amazon, and that's Summer of '84. This is from the makers of that what's the guy's name? RKSS, who did damn, I forget the name of that. Something Turbo Kid a couple years ago. This is on Gunpowder and Sky, but Summer of '84. It's a cool like throwback to the 1980s serial killer film where a bunch of friends think that there's a serial killer living in their neighborhood. And they try to figure out if it who it is and why they're doing it. Kids are missing from all over the neighborhood over the last few months. They try to find out who is doing it. I just thought this was really, really well done. I don't know why it has a burn on demand thing right now, why they're not pressing it, because I think this film, if it was released, and it's getting a hell of a push from the horror magazines, but I would imagine at some point they're going to release a pressed copies of it. I would think. I'm not a big fan of buying burn on demand shit because after a while, uh, you know, just experience tells me that that shit's gonna break down after a while. I'm not gonna pay. This one was, I think, $14.99. Which I think is a complete ripoff. Um, I'd rather buy it through the filmmaker for that price than give the money to Amazon for that price. I mean, maybe the filmmaker has a deal with Amazon to do that. I don't know, but um, I should have probably just ordered it from. I like ordering direct from the filmmakers, so they get all the money. But anyway, I can't suggest this anymore. I thought this was really good. It's not a horror film, so to you know so to speak, but it's got like a tension to it. Um, Kind of a mystery to it, with a nice ending. Not your typical happy ending, but I really like this film. This is something that I would watch repeatedly, probably with the kids or whoever comes over to hang out and we'll watch a film. It'll definitely be summer of '84. I can't suggest this anymore. Definitely check that one out. I'm sure it'll be on Netflix at some point within the next few months. And finally, the last one I picked up, which it's another haunted house film, but this one's a classic. And that's The Changeling. I picked this up from Amazon UK. It's all region, just because there was so much more to this packaging than the US one. This one you got the soundtrack, which I think the US one does have as well. So you get and I think it has the reversible cover art of the original VHS and DVD cover. But also you get a nice book with a bunch of photos and storytelling about the movie, and a huge poster of the original cover art and the new cover art, all housed in this box. But it stars George C. Scott. His family is killed in a car accident at the beginning of the film. He lives in this house, this big house, and stuff starts going on at the house. And then it's kind of playing off, is it his wife or kids? And it's just an eerie film. I think it was actually released in 1981, if I'm not mistaken. Always been one of my favorite haunted house films over the years. It holds up today. George C. Scott is amazing in this film. It's just a creepy film. There's no blood, no gore, that kind of thing. It's just a atmospheric, haunted house film. But this one, you get the new 4K scan. House on Cheeseman Park, Cheeseman Park, the haunted true story of the Changeling, music of the Changeling, interviews, building the House of Horror interview, the Master of Horror Mick Garris on the Changeling TV spot, trailers, and then the limited edition content you get in this packaging. You get the original soundtrack, the 40-page perfect bound booklet with the new essays from Kevin Lyons, original production notes, archives on set, interview with George C. Scott, and the double-sided poster. And like I said, this is only available on Amazon UK, and it was cheaper than the US one. And I did see the US one comes with the soundtrack, but I don't think it comes with anything else. But I'm not 100% sure. But I actually like the artwork on this one better than the US one. Like I said, it was the all region, so it'll play everywhere. It was I think when it was all said and done, it was $5 cheaper with shipping than the U.S. one when I bought it. I mean, it was 14 pounds when I bought it with shipping. It ended up being like 22 pounds total. I mean, $22 total, or $23. And at the time, the U.S. one was $27 through Amazon. So I can't suggest this one enough. If you like good old-fashioned haunted house horror, The Changeling is definitely the one to check out if you haven't. But it's a classic film. I'm sure all you horror heads that watch this will appreciate the Amazon UK pressing of it. And the reason why I threw Party Night onto the floor, it's a piece of shit. So anyway, follow me next time on next month. Actually, I will be doing another Blu-ray and DVD update for the Halloween season. But like I said, I started it off this year a little early. Next up will probably be a CD update at some point. Like I said, a new Blu-ray and DVD update and LP update. So follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'll see you all soon. I'll probably be doing the Halloween script review after the movie comes out, so I can tell you if there's anything different in the script than the movie. But I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Let me know if there's any good independent horror films. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. And I'll talk to you all real soon. All right. Thanks. Peace.